Hey everybody, what's going on today? Today what I was thinking we could do is just build a roller coaster and planet coaster. There's absolutely no goals, nothing in mind, just letting the creativity flow. So I'm not like some super intense planet coaster builder where everything has to be designed perfectly to the millimeter. As cool as that would be, that's just way more stressful than what I personally like to do. I don't build a ton of flying coasters in Planet Coaster, and I used to build them a lot more often than I do currently. But anyways, this flying coaster is probably one of the weirdest flying coasters that I can recall ever building it in all 4 years. No, in all my in all the 5 years that I've built with Planet Coaster, this is probably the weirdest flying coaster that I've ever built. So I'm not complaining about it. Overall, I'm satisfied with the way that it turns out. I mean, there are some really weird elements, and personally, I I like putting some weird elements on my rides, and I also like riding rides that have weird elements. I think that putting weird elements on roller coasters in Planet Coaster just expands your creativity. It just allows your creativity to flow, and it just allows for so many possibilities, so many. There's just so many fun things you can do with weird inversions, weird airtime moments on rides. Oh man, boy, do I love that! Do I love that so much? It's probably one of my favorite things about Planet Coaster. Uh, Like I love being, as I said earlier, I absolutely love being able to just let my creativity flow. As a matter of fact, building in Planet Coaster is one of the ways that I like to decompress myself by with it. It's just so Planet Coaster is just so decompressing after a stressful day of work or school or whatever. If you don't go too in depth with Planet Coaster, like if you don't try to be if you don't try to be like some of these YouTubers as such as variable and you just or where you're going trying to make the most perfect and most realistic roller coasters in Planet Coaster that you can. If you don't do that, you're probably going to find Planet Coaster to be pretty fun and pretty relaxing and pretty time. It can be time consuming as well. Like, I mean, this coaster only took me 10 minutes to build, but it's not the most intricate coaster I've ever built. I've built coasters that have taken me hours to build. Oh, and that is it. That is without scenery, by the way. Scenery can be a royal pain in the rear end when building coasters in Planet Coaster. It's like it's just so time consuming to select all the scenery pieces and place them throughout the ride to get a high scenery rating or high track scenery rating. Oh, not to mention you have to put scenery in the queue line as well. If you want to maximize your ride's prestige, you have to use scenery. And I didn't use scenery on my rides for the first year or so when I was playing Planet Coaster, and well, ever since I started using scenery, you're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see it in this video, but when I start playing with parks on this channel, yeah, you're gonna see more scenery. You're gonna see much more scenery on the rides and in the park. The trick to doing it, or to the trick to building or, I had a few. Or, I did have someone ask me how I can build my elements so perfectly, or how I can build my elements so quickly. It just takes practice, and you just have to. You just need to learn how to use how to properly use your track pieces and how to and approx. It also helps to know approximately how long the track pieces are and how tall the elements will be. You do have to do some guesswork on uh, uh, the angling of the individual track pieces. But once you learn, like once you learn the or once you do it for a little bit, you'll start getting it a whole hell of a lot better at doing it. It's just one of those things that takes time and practice. Some people might learn it faster than others, and that's okay. That is okay. One of my favorite elements to construct myself is dive loops. I I can I love building dive loops because the dive loops are one of the easiest elements to build by yourself. Uh, I will show you. I will show you guys how to build a dive loop in some other in another later video. Just not this one. Yeah, if I had to say which coaster type between inverts or the inverted coaster and the flying coaster, which one I prefer. I do prefer the inverted coaster, because I there's just something about inverted coasters that I just find so fun building. The flying coasters can be fun as well, but for some reason, I just don't think they match up well with the inverted coaster. I honestly couldn't tell you why. You can do a whole lot more with a flying coaster than you can with an inverted coaster. But I generally prefer building inverted coasters. And I tell you that, guys, this as I'm building a flying coaster, or as you're watching a video of me building a flying coaster. So, well, um, but one thing that you need that I think is an absolute must for flying coasters is some sort of pretzel loop or some sort of inversion that rises up and flips and then as it descends, it puts or it takes the riders from the flying position to the laying position. So when you're in the flying position, you're face down, but when you're in the laying position, you're face up. So a lot of flying coasters use some sort of element that does this. Actually, I think all of them do. The only flying coaster that I've ever ridden was a Firehawk at Kings Island. Rip Firehawk. I wasn't a huge fan of the ride, but it was cool. It was unique. It was definitely something I've never ridden before. And well, you get to build similar flying. You get to build similar elements into this game or into these coasters, and that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, follow, follow, uh, 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 follow my main channel. No link down below, and keep gaming.